Sure. Greetings, brethren and seekers of the truth. This is part 2 of What is the Key of David? It doesn't matter if you haven't heard part 1 because it's almost standalone. But we're going to begin in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 7. Revelation 3:7. The Faithful Church is the subtitle. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things says he who is holy, he who is true, he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Truly I will make of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Truly I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Because you have kept my command to persevere, the word of my patience, I also will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world, to test those who dwell on the earth. Behold, I am coming quickly. Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown. He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my Elohim. So, these are the words of Yahshua, our Savior. And he says, he who has the key of David, he who is true, and so has to do with the truth of the key of David. And this is just, anyway, whatever. Move on. Matthew chapter 16. I have nothing to say there. But it mentions the key of David, and the key of David has something to do with the truth. I mean, the whole Bible has to do with the truth. Okay, this hasn't started too well. We'll have to pick things up. Matthew 16, chapter 15, or verse 15. Matthew 16, verse 15. And this is Yahshua talking to Peter. He said to them, or talking to the disciples, he said to them, the apostles, he said to them, but who do you say that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living Elohim, the living God. Yahshua answered and said to him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, there's a lot of controversy about you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. The Catholic Church says that the rock is Peter. But Peter doesn't mean rock. Peter means small stone. So then what rock is he going to build his church on? The rock is the fact that Peter testified that he was the Messiah, the Son of the Almighty. And that's what he would build his church on. And the gates of Hades, Hades is the grave. So the gates of the grave would not prevail against him because he resurrected. He had the ability to resurrect himself, and he will resurrect all the believers at the proper time. And he gave Peter the keys of the kingdom of heaven. So we're talking about the key of David. Part of the key of David is the keys of the kingdom. And the keys of the kingdom are in 2 Peter chapter 1. So literally, Peter was given the keys of the kingdom, and he espouses what they are in 2 Peter chapter 1. 2 Peter chapter 1. Simon Peter, a bondservant and apostle of Yahshua Mashiach, to those who have obtained like precious faith with us by the righteousness of our Elohim and Savior, Yahshua Mashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Grace and peace be multiplied to you in the knowledge of Elohim and of Yahshua, our sovereign master, as his divine power has given to us all things that pertain to life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who called us by glory and virtue, by which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promises, that through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world through lust. But also for this very reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge, to knowledge self-control, to self-control perseverance, to perseverance godliness, to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love. For if these things are yours and abound, you will be neither barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of Marana, Yahshua Mashiach, our Master Jesus the Messiah. For he who lacks these things is short-sighted, even to blindness, and has forgotten that he was cleansed from his old sins. Therefore, brethren, be even more diligent to make your call and election sure. For if you do these things, you will never stumble. For so an entrance will be supplied to you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our sovereign Master and Savior, Yahshua Mashiach. For this reason, I will not be negligent to remind you always of these things, though you know and are established in the present truth. So here he's talking about the truth, being established in the truth. That has to do with Revelation a bit. And also, if you noticed, knowledge is mentioned many times here. Verse 2, in the knowledge of Elohim and of Yahshua. Verse 3, through the knowledge of him who called us. Verse 5, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge, to knowledge self-control. Verse 8, neither barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of Marana Yahshua Mashiach, our Master Jesus the Messiah. And then it mentions in 11, it mentions, if you do these things, you will have an entrance supplied to you into the everlasting kingdom. And then in verse 12, though you know and are established in the present truth. So knowledge, here, one of the keys of the kingdom is knowledge. Knowledge of the Almighty and his way and his Son and him. Daniel chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2. Daniel 2 verse 20. Daniel's is revealing the king's dream to him. And in verse 20, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Elohim forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O Elohim of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you, for you have made known to us the king's demand. So in this case, he's making known what the king wants to know, but in general, he makes known to all of us what we seek of him. For wisdom and might are his, in verse 20. He gives wisdom to the wise in 21, and knowledge to those who have understanding. Understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. That's repeated many times. He reveals deep and secret things, 22. He knows the darkness. He gives me wisdom and might, and has now made known what we've asked of you, and made known to us what we asked of him. We thank him and praise him for revealing his truth and wisdom to us. One of the keys of the kingdom. James 3:13. James 3:13. Just as an aside, I looked into what James meant. You know, James is Jacob, Yaakov, and often it's translated as heel grabber or supplanter. Well, I looked into it and I found out that an alternative, there's a couple of different alternative definitions, but the one I think is the best is either Yah's substitute or Yah substitutes is a possible, because he substituted for his brother Jacob for Esau. Anyway, 3:13, James 3:13. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. Meekness of wisdom. Meekness is not weakness. Meekness is humble strength. Moses was called the most humble man. And certainly there was few who were stronger of mortal men in spiritual strength than Moses. So wisdom, understanding are emphasized here in James. Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3. It's before Thessalonians. Colossians 3, 9 and 10. We'll back up to 8. Colossians 3, 8. But now you yourselves are to put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, who is renewed in knowledge according to the image of him who created him. So we're to put off the old man and put on the new man. And how do we do that? We are renewed in knowledge. In knowledge of the Creator and his word of truth. To be like him. According to the image of him who created him. We're going to be like Messiah when he returns. When we're resurrected. Hosea chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4 comes after Daniel. Hosea 4, verse 1. Hear the word of Yah, you children of Israel, for Yah brings a charge against the inhabitants of the land. There is no truth or mercy or knowledge of Elohim in the land. This is subtitled, this chapter, Elohim's charge against Israel. No truth nor mercy or knowledge of Elohim in the land. That's interesting. That sounds like the United States. Certainly there's plenty of lies. There's not much mercy. And certainly there's no knowledge of the Almighty, except amongst the few. And verse 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also will reject you from being priest for me. Because you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. That's a warning. Lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed. And they've rejected knowledge. Certainly people have rejected the Bible here in this country. And the threat of destruction is always at hand. 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3. Subtitled Perilous Times and Perilous Men. 2 Timothy 3, verse 7. Always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now as Jannes and Jambres resisted Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds, disapproved concerning the faith. So if you reject the truth, resist the truth, you're going to be disapproved concerning the faith. If you reject the Bible, you can always be learning but never come to the knowledge of the truth. 1 Timothy chapter 2. 1 Timothy 2, verse 3. 1 Timothy 2, verse 3. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of Elohim, our Savior, who desires all men to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. He wants everybody to be saved, but you have to come to the knowledge of the truth. And of course, the truth is John chapter 17. John 17:17. One of my favorite verses. John 17:17. Sanctify them, make them holy by your truth. Your word is truth. The word is the truth, the Bible. And verse 19, and for their sakes I sanctify, make myself holy, that they also may be sanctified, made holy by the truth. We're made holy by the truth, by the word. If we're in the word, reading the word, daily bread, daily spiritual food to build us up. If you're not in the word daily, you're starving yourself spiritually. And now let's go to the book of Proverbs. We're going to spend a little time here in Proverbs, chapter 21. So we can see that knowledge is a big factor in the key to Yah's kingdom is knowledge and the truth, knowledge of the truth. Proverbs 21, verse 11. When the scoffer is punished, the simple is made wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. Makes sense? We're instructed, we receive knowledge, has to be through the word. Proverbs chapter 2. Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom, apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment, lift up your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of Yah and find the knowledge of Elohim. For Yah gives wisdom, from his mouth knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk uprightly. He guards the paths of justice and preserves the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice, equity, and every good path. When wisdom enters your heart and knowledge is pleasant to your soul, discretion will preserve you. Understanding will guard you, keep you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the man who speaks perverse things. So knowledge sounds like knowledge is the greatest thing there is. Wisdom and knowledge and understanding. To know the Almighty through his word. He's promising to be a shield, a protection for us, to guard us. And then you will understand the fear of Yah. Fear is Strong's 3374. And rather than, although it does mean afraid, in this context it means reverence. The fear is reverence for Yah, a humble reverence, a moral reverence, a reverence of where you bow down before him. All right, chapter 1. Back up to chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 28. Then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yah. They would have none of my counsel and despised my every rebuke. This is what we should not do. This is what much of the world, much of the nation has done. They have chosen wrongly. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to love knowledge. We're supposed to choose the fear of Yah. reverence for him. And verse 7, Proverbs 1 verse 7, the fear of Yah is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. So we're not to despise wisdom and instruction through the word. We're supposed to have the fear of Yah, reverence for Yah, and that is the beginning of knowledge. And knowledge leads to wisdom. Can. And chapter 9, Proverbs chapter 9, 9 and 10. Proverbs 9:9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So reverence for Yah is the beginning of wisdom. Isaiah chapter 33. Isaiah 33. Verse 6. Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yah is his treasure. So we're supposed to treasure the fear of Yah. Reverence for Yah is to be a treasure in our hearts. And it's wisdom and knowledge will make us stable in these times, these tough times. Wisdom and knowledge of his word, because his word reveals to us what's to come, what has been. And wisdom and knowledge is also the strength of salvation. And Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah 11, verse 2. This is speaking of Joshua. It says in verse 1, there shall come forth a rod from the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. That's Joshua. Joshua is the branch, the netzer. That's where we get Nazareth and Nazarene, meaning the branch. And verse 2, the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yah. His delight is in the fear of Yah. This is Joshua. So we're to be like Joshua. So we can have the spirit of Yah resting upon us. We can have the spirit of wisdom and understanding. His spirit, if we have his spirit, we're going to be given wisdom and understanding. He'll be giving us counsel and might through his spirit, and the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yah, reverence for Yah. So the keys of the kingdom are reverence for Yah and knowledge leading to wisdom. And these are the keys of the kingdom and also the key of David. Thank you.